This is an Annual Annapolis bonus podcast.
Well, I can't believe it is that time of the year again. Here we are. We are in the beginning of March. And if we hang out until the beginning of April, you will have missed it. We're talking about the 14th edition of the Annapolis Film Festival, which is coming into town March 26th through the 29th. We're here again with Lee Anderson and Patti White. How are you guys?
Alive.
Standing strong.
Alive?
We're still standing.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Now, is it real hair or are those wigs? Have you pulled your hair out yet? For the 14 years of doing
Yes,
this
hair
is
is
incredible.
coming.
It's not the VIG.
We're vigging. We're vigging
It's just
it.
turning white.
Yeah.
Oh my! Well, first of all, congratulations on 14 years. That's amazing. I remember sitting here at this table. I think it was in year 5, and you said that for a film festival, if you make 5,
Right.
you've probably got something that's working.
Yeah.
And
That's true. We did say that, didn't we?
And then we get into year 10, and you're like, well, 10. It's like we're here, and it's
adults in it.
rolling. It's rolling. And now here we are at 14, which is sort of an odd year, but you were named one of the coolest film festivals in the country by Movie Maker
In the world.
magazine.
Top
In the world.
25. Top 25.
In the world?
In the world.
In the world.
There are 12,000 film festivals worldwide.
That's
And
not
they-
bad at all.
It's not. So
Pretty cool.
Somebody came here and had a good time. Is all
I'm
I
going
got
to
to
sit there and
say.
say that Annapolis in general, as far as the arts go, that's way out of our league. I mean, honestly, as I look around, when we've got 2 symphonies, we've got an opera, we've got a ballet, we've got we've got Ramshead that brings in all these acts. We've certainly got the film festival. I mean, we do bat out of our league for a little town of 40,000 people.
We do. Because
And I love
the
it.
town is I look at it as it's half kind of Navy, scientific, all of that, and then the other half is artsy. It's like we're two. It's like it's the Naval Academy in St. John's is what it is.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, again, the festival this year is brought to you by the Brian and Patricia Geis Foundation, and they've been a great partner in a number of things around town. So
Yes.
They have. They've really, they call it investing in people with passion and things that really move the needle in the community. So they are faith-based, but they also support a lot of secular things like Maryland Therapeutic Writing and Symphony and the festival.
I mean, they're very community. They're community builders, is what they are. So they're trying to. Their purpose is to build the community, to make it a safer, better, brighter, much more evolved place to be, and that's why we appreciate them as our sponsor, as our
Presenting sponsor.
leading presenter, as our presenter. That's what they are.
They're the top dog, top of the list, big
They
grand
are.
poobah sponsor.
Yeah,
of the,
but they're
of the
not
film
even.
festival.
We don't even see them as sponsors. They're our presenter. You know what I mean? They've come up and helped us structurally be able to afford this festival.
Well, I know in years past we've talked about that this is not it's not for the faint of heart.
Never is.
Or wallet to come in here and try to do this, and it's it's quite a feat that you put on for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days.
And we have had some new support this year, which we're really grateful. It's the first time that the county itself has funded part of the festival. So thank you to our county exec.
Took 8 years for Pittman to get up and,
Yes.
and write that check.
But we're
Come
so
on.
grateful. We're so grateful.
We kept trying.
And then we have a couple new foundations this year. We have the J.E. Gardner Fund, and we have Artemis Rising Foundation, which supports a lot of festivals around the country. So they're all new additions. And then we have our tried and true, like the Arts Council that's been with us from day one, and the Maryland State Arts Council, the city. So without
Art
all of
in
this,
public places.
Visit Annapolis. Like without all of this support, this really still couldn't happen.
Well, and you also got the support of the people that live here and visit here. Because
And
this is a
without
weekend.
them, we could definitely not make this festival.
I know empty theaters are horrible, which you don't see and you won't see when you come here to March 26th to the 29th. And I will say that tickets and passes are available on sale right now. AnnapolisFilmFestival.com is where you want to go there. And the specific schedule is not quite up yet because I see your famous board over here with all the color stickies.
The boards.
Which will...
It's very high tech. It's sticky notes and Sharpies.
Well, that's going to morph into the program and the sheets and everything else is online, and it's down to the wire to get it done because I know you've got to get stuff printed and everything else. But
if you go to the website, you can see what we have.
We do. You've just released the whole full slate and everything else. And the exciting thing, I guess, is the opening film, which is Power Ballad, which is Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it is. Are they both coming?
Oh, actually, they both were at the Dublin Film Festival, and they'll be at South by where they premiered. By the time this comes out, South by will have occurred. But they're both involved in filming, and they're not going to be able to run around to all the other festivals. But this film is so good, and John Carney is such a wonderful director, an Irish
you probably
director.
Know him from Once and Sing Street,
Begin Again.
Okay.
He's just a classic director of someone who brings heart, and this one is about friendship and betrayal and all the things that kind of make a good little film.
Well, the basic premise is that Paul Rudd is a washed up wedding singer.
He's a wedding singer.
He wanted to be a rock star that turned into a wedding singer because he met an Irish girl and married her.
Okay. Nick Jonas is a former
boy band. That's a stretch, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, leave him with his musical chops, not his acting chops. Right?
Exactly. So he's looking for his own lane to be in.
Solo act.
And they get together at the beginning of the film at the wedding where his friend is getting married, Nick Jonas's friend, and Paul Rudd is the wedding singer. And I'm not going to go into any details. Right. It's just that they spend an interesting evening together sharing creative thoughts and work and have a good time. And then 6 months later, Paul Rudd hears some of his work on the radio.
Yeah.
And that's when it all begins.
That's awesome. You guys do such a great job of certainly the opening films. And I was talking with Teresa the other day, and we were trying to remember way back when of what all those opening night films were, and we couldn't figure it out. I mean, I'm sure you guys probably do. Maybe not off the top of your head, but I mean, I saw the poster coming down in here for Jay-Z Boy, which was I think year 1, wasn't it, or year 2?
It was 2.
Year 2.
And we had LBJ.
We've had LBJ
with Rob.
This year, there's an homage to Rob Reiner, who was involved for 2 different years. All of our cocktails are named after Rob Reiner movies.
Oh, fun!
Yeah,
fun. What a great loss! What a great loss! What a horrible loss!
Something very hard for me to even talk about it. To be honest with you,
what a great talent in any number of ways. I mean, I was introduced to him as Meathead, and that's.
He was a bedrock of American cinema. Look at all the good movies he's made.
And not just cinema, but he just the talk about building community. I mean, that guy has been across the board, fighting for humanity for so many years. And he was just a very special human being.
Well, he really was, and he had the temerity to zoom into Annapolis one time.
Yes,
and the temerity to come into Annapolis another time. So it was for the film festival. Right. I remember both of those times. I still remember sitting in St. John's College when you guys were screwing around with the audio and it couldn't thing. And he says, "So wait, I can't hear you, but you can hear me? Let me go."
Let me just tell you about everything.
We had someone walk out and say that was the best 30 minutes of my life because he was completely... No boundaries. It was just Rob live, entertaining everybody.
Exactly. So we're so honored that we were able to have that. But we've had a lot of really good opening night films last year. We had Ballad of Wallace Island. We're in the ballad category now.
We've had Chevalier.
We had Chevalier.
That's right. There was the one with Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, and Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
I mean, we try. It's really hard to book an opening night film because of the time we're in. We're not in the fall, where all the big things are coming out. We're we're just after Sundance and South by, so it gets a little tricky. But we've been able to pull out some really good films. And
you truly have, Julia. What other cool films are coming in?
Oh, my goodness.
I know that some of them still, even for those that aren't aware, booking a film festival is very difficult. It's not like somebody's waiting and says, "Oh yeah, I've got that weekend open a year and a half in advance," where you can sit there and say, "Okay, fine, I've got this." The movie's probably not even made at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's travel, there's everything, and they're not in the theaters. So I mean, this is not something that you can just stream on TV.
No.
They're all brand new films, just making it out on the circuit.
We found Poetic License, the new Maud Apatow film. This is her first film and her directorial debut, and she's Judd Apatow's daughter. So her film, Poetic License, was at Toronto, and we found it there. We saw it, and we just thought, what a great film, what a great little film to bring to Annapolis, and we think our audience will enjoy it, and we put it as a Friday night spotlight.
Now, how do you get a film? I mean, you two, I mean, I follow you both on Facebook, and you both globetrot around the world to all these different film festivals.
Not around the world.
But you go to an awful lot of film festivals, and I mean, you sit there and you see one, and I mean, are you like grading them and saying, hey, that'd be a good one?
And looking at best practices. And I was pretty blown away by Toronto this year. I had not been to the Toronto Film Festival. They had more celebrities than any other festival I've ever been to. Armies of black SUVs.
That's where they all premiere.
It was incredible.
There,
they blocked off 6 city blocks in downtown Toronto for the festival. And then the lines are in the middle of the street and people walk on the sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's very cool. And
it's huge.
And the films, you really get to see what's coming around the corner, what's coming into the fall and winter and even spring schedule, so much of them. So we saw quite a few films there, and Poetic License was one of them that we really wanted.
And then what do? Do you just pitch their distribution company and say, hey, we've got a film festival and come on?
It's a combination of things. Sometimes it's the producers, the directors. It depends on whether they have a distributor yet. Sometimes it's the production company. Sometimes it's the distributor. For Poetic License, it was the distributor. They are part of Roquet Entertainment, which is one of the newer distributors that are really excellent. They've been picking up a lot of terrific films. And, I made a pitch to them, and it took a little while. Had to kind of prove yourself to what you're going to do with it and everything. And when it happens, when it falls right, then it falls right.
And it feels good.
Feels good.
It's very exciting to be able to get these films. These are all like little presents for the community, Different ones speak to different people, but they're memorable. When I call people a year later and ask if they're going to support the festival, they usually tell me their top 2 or 3 from last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys do a very good job of programming this. And I mean, I realize that you've got a whole team that does it as well, but
small team.
This is
not a whole
tiny team.
Yeah, and a lot of it is part-time. I mean, a lot of it's going to, be here, a month or 2 in advance, and then
about 8 to 10 weeks tops.
A little bit more immediately during the festival, and then everybody goes away. I mean,
right, exactly.
But, this is a festival not for necessarily just the snooty, I'm going to a film festival crowd.
The auteurs, you mean?
Yeah, this is a festival for everybody. And as
we built it this way, John, on purpose, intentionally, because we recognize that Annapolis, it's not a big community here, and even the areas around us, and of course the state and from all regions coming into Annapolis for this festival now, but we built it to be for an entire community. So that's why we have all those showcases.
Well, that's what I was going to get into, because we are such a diverse community. I mean, Annapolis, we've got we've got black, we've got white, we've got gay, we've got straight, we got Hispanic, we got Latino, we got Jews, we got Christians, we got the whole 9 yards.
And we've got them all. Everything you just said, we've identified in a showcase. And the only thing you forgot was the environment. We've got that too.
Yeah, we got tree huggers.
We're all living along the water.
Exactly. And we have that too. Right.
And we have military, usually a military veteran
film. You just nailed it, buddy.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the thing that's so beautiful about this is that, and it does not need to be this huge expensive thing. Certainly if you're a film buff, get a pass. That's the only way to do it here.
It is. You can see everything.
So much easier.
If you are, maybe have a busy weekend, maybe the kids got a lacrosse tournament or something like that, individual tickets are the way to go. This is not necessary. This is a great resource, value for your money.
Yeah.
It is. One of the things our young staff has reminded us this year is they said, some people think you have to be a filmmaker to go to a film festival. You have to understand it and be a super cinephile. You don't. It's for the public. It can be a $20 ticket. Anybody can come. It's just a different experience because you're maybe meeting the subject or the filmmaker. You're hearing more about the making of the film, but it's for everyone.
Well, it really is. And you get to know the filmmakers. You get to know the people that are with you, even though they're strangers when you sit there. Because, when I go to Landmark, and I don't mean to be dissing on Landmark or AMC, and we need them and everything else, but, I eat my popcorn, I drink my Diet Coke, and I leave.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. When I come to the Annapolis Film Festival and I go in there, usually I end up sitting in a pew, in a chair, or whatever it may be, going like, wow. And then somebody next door is going like, wow, what do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Right.
And the conversation carries on out into the street. What are you doing next? What one is next?
Well, you know what? I think there's something about knowing that you're in a festival and you're with other people sharing conversation and sharing the experience of it all, that when the movie ends, you're not just getting up and going to your car and going home. You already know you're in a scenario that you can talk about it. You can share it. You can come back. You can go to the next thing right away. You can, go to a party, go to a panel. You can do so many things that make you feel like you're in it.
Well, it is. And one of the beauties of this is that you often have, at the end of the films, you have some of the folks that were involved in the film, whether it be actors or whether it be directors or producers, that are able to sit there. And I know that you've got, several people will moderate these panels and take questions from the audience. I mean, it's, you leave a good film, you probably have questions still in your head.
Right.
Maybe that is the mark of a good film. I know I do a lot of times. I'm like,
you can ask them.
Connect these dots for me. And then, a producer or a director may say, well, this is what I was, and like, oh, I get it. It's just a whole different insight. It's amazing.
It's curated this way on purpose. We could throw a bunch of films that might not mean as much. It'd be a lot easier for Patti and Derek and Avery to do that. But, we're trying to push people a little out of their comfort zone and show them things in a different way and pick things that are interesting and relevant every year. So that takes a lot more work.
Joe Newmeyer, who was with us for years, he can't make it this year.
He's still alive.
He's still with us, but he's not with us this year. But we have the wonderful Mara Reinstein coming to our film as our film journalist this year. But Joe said something early on in his experience here in Annapolis. He said, your programming is very lean. And what he meant by that is because when you go to a festival and you see there are always like some great films, they have 3 or 4 or 5 big heavy hitters, and particularly the name festivals. And then you start to look with what else they have. And then it's just a lot of it's thrown together, just things that go up there that you wouldn't necessarily want to see all the time. Maybe they're more for certain kitschy groups or certain this or that. That's one thing in Annapolis that we do. We try to program the entire festival for everything to give it a meaning and a purpose, and to be, if it's for a certain part of the community, that it's got to really affect them and impact them.
I think that's obvious when somebody attends this festival, to be honest with you. I think it really is. And I mean, as you were saying that, I'm just picturing somebody with a board like this going, okay, we've got 32 minutes here. Is there a short that's less than 32 minutes? Yeah. Okay. What's it called? It doesn't matter. Okay. We'll put it in here.
Exactly. That's just been my life.
And that's just, it speaks volumes for the Annapolis Film Festival that it is indeed this. And that leads into, the different experiences and the showcases that you have.
We do.
We've got the Black Experience, which hasn't been
from
around.
Day one.
Was that the day one?
Yeah, day
and
one.
Environmental. They were probably the first 2, I think.
And I think the Jewish one was the first year too. I think we had those three.
Those three.
Those
That's
three
right.
were right from the beginning.
And we didn't call the sailing one a showcase until we had a sailing film. Then we made it a showcase.
Right, exactly. But the Black Experience this year is The Eyes of Ghana, which is the film that Barack and Michelle Obama executive produced for their company Higher Ground. And the producer of the film, Nana Frimpong, from Ghana, she's originally from Ghana, will be here with us to do the Q&A.
Oh, exciting.
And so that is an exciting.
It's directed by Ben Proudfoot, who has won 3 Academy Awards for his short films. He just had another short at Sundance that we actually have in our short program this year.
We have 3 of his films, counting this one, in our festival. And he may or may not be able to come. He's going to try, and we'll see what happens. But that's going to be that's a beautiful film. And it takes us into the history of early Africa and found footage that never should have existed to anybody for anybody to see because they thought it had been burned. They didn't realize that the 20-something cinematographer saved a copy and sent it to London and found it all these years later. So there's part of that story of the revolution and everything that happened is told in that, and it's so relevant today with what's happening in the world. So we're excited to have that, and we hope to fill that place up.
That's true. Well, what are the different venues that we've got? I mean, obviously Maryland Hall is a staple, and that has two theaters. You've got the Bowen Theater down on the lower level, and you've got the main auditorium theater, which is where the opening night and the closing night is.
We have Asbury United Methodist Church.
Okay, and once again, I'm going to say it again for those that are going, last thing in the world I want to do is sit on a hard wooden pew for 2 hours.
Comfortable.
Yeah,
Oddly enough, they are comfortable.
They are. That's a great
and
place.
And the sound is good.
Sound is excellent there. And then we have St. John's Key Auditorium. And the nice thing is we don't have it Friday night, but we have it all day Friday, and we have it all day and evening Saturday, and all day and evening Sunday. So we're back in there for a long period of time.
Well, that's good. They did a great renovation on that.
Yeah.
And St. John's, that Key Auditorium is really nice. That one's the auditorium in town that's got the most legroom.
It
does.
And it also has a scallop ceiling, and the sound design is good in there.
Yeah. So those are the main venues that you've got.
So those are the main venues. We're down a venue this year, but we may get another one next year. We'll see. But that's where we are.
Just more challenge for the scheduling.
It's just true. All it is money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we could do so much more if we had. We just need a sugar daddy. If there's anybody out there who wants
we need a papa.
Well, you guys need to start an OnlyFans account. That's where all the money is, I understand.
A what?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
That's where they're making all the money.
That's true.
And then don't forget Ram's Head for coffee talks and the Graduate for panels.
Okay.
Right.
Friday panels. Our industry panels are amazing this year. They're amazing every year, but they're really good this year. We brought there's some heavy hitters coming in for those industry panels.
Right. And one of our panels is about screenwriting this year. And we have a couple heavy hitter screenwriting people coming in too.
Nice.
So
we know where Ram's Head on stage. Where is it going to be held at the Graduate by Hilton?
Powerhouse.
At the
First
Powerhouse,
floor.
which is the little square 3-story building just on the right of it as you walk.
Just right there. And then we do have the 4 industry panels are on Friday. On Saturday, we have a director's roundtable. That's at Maryland Hall. And that'll be for the feature directors, narrative directors that have come in. Will be talking about, what's happening in the modern world of directing and in filmmaking. And then on Sunday, we're going to have our women's panel, which is always a hot panel. I mean, it's that thing just explodes every year because the women, once you get them up there on the stage to talk, they have things to say.
Oh, sure.
So that panel will be at St. John's this year, and then we're showing the film "She Runs the World," which is the Allison Felix track star film.
Okay. She's the GOAT of track and field.
Right. Right.
But then she got pregnant and Nike dropped her endorsement, so she created her own running shoe.
They actually lessened the money. She got it back, but they never gave her what she was worth. So she decided to just leave them and go do her own thing. So so that's what kind of
hence she runs the world.
Yeah,
that's right.
And we're talking about how women have to do workarounds in the business. What are the workarounds you do to be successful and to have?
Is Hollywood still a male-dominated business?
Oh yeah,
in many ways it is. I mean, the women. There's some strong women out there, and there are women that are in very important places, but it's still a patriarchal kind of society in many ways.
Well, a lot of women achieve that level just below. They're running everything. They're showrunners, but they're not owners of the show. They're not owners of the content. They're doing the work. So that's the last place to bust through is to get, like Sherry Lansing was an early person that broke through that.
There's always those that are. But then just for the everyday working producer, director, actor, whatever, you have the knocking on the door is a lot. And a lot of times the doors are still often shut down.
Sure. Well, I think it's any kind of sales job. I mean, you got to get used to hearing no.
But there's only 4% of women that are DPs and something like 14% are producers at a high level. So there's still work to be done. But anyway, we're getting into all of that with the panels, and then we still have back to our
experiences and showcases. As we said, the Black experience is one of them. This year, our Latin experience. We have the Grand Jury Prize winner from I can't remember what the specific thing, but it was a big award at Sundance for American Pachuco, the Luis Valdez story.
Okay.
And Luis Valdez was that great Chicano director who did La Bamba and many things, but he started out his career in working with Cesar Chavez and being a part of that migrant thing in Northern California. And it's such a great way to see the Chicano movement, like to really learn about it through Luis Valdez's eyes, and then watch him, who was a theater lover, become just completely engulfed in Latin theater, and then bringing it to film and being the first really big filmmaker. And this film is great. It's really good. And we're going to show that at Asbury on Saturday afternoon.
What is Latin?
That's Latina and Latino as
okay,
one.
So we've moved beyond the Latinx.
Yeah, no Latinx anymore.
that was a couple years ago.
Trying to be a little more
now we're in the Latin experience.
Again, you've got the, we talked about the Black experience. We've got the Latin experience. The environmental showcase, which always resonates really, really well here in Annapolis.
And this one's going to too.
It's called "This Is Not a Drill." The guys that were down in Mississippi,
the two state legislators, remember, that got kicked out of
African American guys.
Justin, I can't remember Justin's last name, but he was one of the state legislators that was thrown out of in Tennessee, and then they put them back in.
Remember that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they're part of this because they were.
He's the one.
So the whole film's about environmental racism because they were rerouting the pipelines through poor Black communities instead of through the wealthy white community. And
makes sense.
It has rippled across the whole country. This is a big issue. In fact, there are ties to Annapolis with this film because there was a lawsuit that was dropped in June about the same thing here.
And I'm not sure it was a pipeline story as much as it was a methane gas getting into the waters, but through different oil companies and things that they're doing. But that was dropped. But yes, this film is made very well. It's a very, very good film. And we haven't had anything. We've done a lot of water stories here because of the Chesapeake, but we haven't had anything. This is truly a climate change story. It really is, because this gas that these pipelines are releasing into the air is definitely having a direct effect on the climate. And this is the first time I've really seen something that really connects the dots to how it works and why it's happening. So we really wanted to bring it to Annapolis.
That's a good point. And then I'll go back. I think it was 2 years ago, and I'm drawing a blank on the name of the movie, but it was all about the fallout at where they were bombing in New Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah,
it was the radiation that for years impacted and caused cancer.
Yeah, and
mostly to indigenous people.
But we sit here and we look at a similar story. Well, okay, don't worry about those people out there.
It's called First They Bombed New Mexico.
Yes, that's right. And as I remember talking to the director of that, and that film started a movement. I mean, I don't know whether the film started the movement or the movement started the film.
It also affected legislation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They were in there. They were having these, and they were out there. There was petitions. There was things, and it's working. So I mean,
I think this one's is in the same vein.
When you see something like this, I mean, it's not isolated, is what I'm sort of saying. This is much larger than just the. And
we have to build a panel around this. Because,
that'd be great. That'd be really interesting.
We have to figure that out.
And then we have the Faith Experience back this year. So that's a world premiere. That film, literally, I think the first cut Patti got to look at they were still in post-production.
Yeah.
And that film is called Elijah Peel. And it's the story of a rock and roller who has been kind of a bad boy and, drinking drugs, womanizing. And when he is faced with a health issue, he wakes up in the hospital and is befriended by an 8-year-old little girl with terminal cancer, and she tells him about himself.
I mean, she has to sort of bring him. The movie is really the story of how she brings him to another part of himself. She introduces him to the other side of himself, brings him to faith, brings him to that. It's got a bit of a heavy, faith hand on it, but it's the faith experience.
Sure.
So it fits into that program. But
we have the whole cast coming.
The cast is coming. So it's Kevin Sorbo, who played Hercules. He's in the past. He will be there, along with Malcolm Cumming, who plays the lead, the British rock star, and the little girl, Evelyn Grace Kite. She's adorable, from Atlanta. She'll be coming.
Oh, fun.
And then the writer and co-director of the film will also be coming, because he said a lot of it came from his own story of what happened to him. So they'll all be there.
And again, with the faith experience, and that's the third year.
Second
year here. That again sort of balances out.
Right.
The other things
when you're looking, you've got the Jewish experience and stuff like that, which is
there's inspirational stories. There's stories that just make you think about things. They're positive stories. They're more family value driven stories.
But when we say that we're going to do a film festival for the entire community, we mean it for the entire community. So if we're doing the Jewish experience and we're doing the Latin experience and we're doing why can't we do the faith experience, and why can't we do the sailing experience? It's like, why not hit all the things that our community are part of? So we don't feel like, if somebody says, why are you doing Jewish films here? And, they have said it to us. We say, well, it's the history and the culture. That's what it is. And then when they say, well, why are you doing Christian films here? We're not a Christian film festival. We're doing them because we have a faith experience and we have a Christian community here too.
Right.
And then why are you doing the Latin experience? Well, because a lot of people living here today are
exactly.
And it's not just them seeing it. Our community needs to know everything about all of our neighbors, who we all are. And it's not just for the people in the bubble. Burst the damn bubble and let's get everybody together. And learn about each other.
Under one tent.
That's what makes it good.
That's
Stay tuned. Next year, we're going to have the Greek experience, because there's tons of Greeks living in.
We'll wear togas and sandals.
No, but we have a Cypriot Greek film this year.
But this looks like there's a great lineup there. Now, I know
the sailing film too is a showcase. Should we mention that one?
Which one?
The sailing.
Oh yeah. Who's
Gary Jobson has a new film. Well, it's an old 30-year-old film
that's never been seen.
That hasn't been seen. So footage, it was seen one time. He showed it, and really he's brought it back. It's his trip sailing through Antarctica with a mountain climber that he brings with him, and they climb the icebergs. The mountain climber is helping him learn how to do that.
Gary's much younger in the movie.
Much younger. And he's teaching the guy how to sail, and they have other people on the boat, and some of those people are coming. 30 years later, will be in the audience.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Gary's done a couple of those with old footage.
Mm-hmm. They're good.
He's got archives that every time we turn around, there's something else he has. It's kind of amazing.
Well, if there's not a big sailing film that's coming out,
He'll make it.
Then let's go into the archives of Gary Jobson, because there's always going to be some little gem there,
What a great gem. What a great resource to have here in town.
I know.
It is.
We're so appreciative of him, and he was our board president for several years, and we appreciate him. He's now on our advisory board.
Yeah.
Right. Fantastic. Well, opening night, I know, is you've got to get tickets if they're available, but they're passes, right?
Well, there are a few left. They're moving faster than they ever have. Passes are flying. So there is a limit. I know generally they have been available for people, but that may not be the case this year, so I wouldn't wait.
Okay.
We have another spotlight because we did the other spotlight. I'll let Lee tell about this one.
Yeah. It's called Caroline. It opened at Toronto. It stars Samara Weaving, who you might remember as the love interest from Chevalier.
Oh, yes.
And Kyle Gallner, who is kind of like, he reminds me of like a young Joaquin Phoenix. He's kind of like this, he's sexy guy. And it's a love story crime spree across the American Gothic South. It's a modern day Bonnie and Clyde, directed by Adam Carter Riemeyer, who you might know. He did the film Dinner in America.
Big indie film.
Yes. I think I do remember that one.
So that's our Friday spotlight. And it is produced by none other than Tim and Trevor White of Annapolis and Star Thrower Entertainment. So we're excited to get it.
Any relation to you?
Oh, no. Of course not.
No. You've heard of them, basically?
I kind of heard of them.
The film opened in Toronto.
The film is, but to be honest with you, even though there's a connection that when Lee and I both saw that film,
I love
we
this
were like,
film.
this is
They've
really
made, I think,
good.
21 features now, and this is one of my top favorites.
They've done it. They've done so many of them, and I jokingly sit there and say that Patti spent 21 years to get them out of the house, and they keep coming back.
Like a bad penny.
This is a ride from the very beginning. It hooks you, and you just go for the ride.
Yeah.
It's like you're on their adventure with them.
Love it.
And it's really
Major chemistry.
To me, it's an interesting film because it was made indie style with an indie budget, and it looks like so much more than that. So creatively, it's really exceptional, and the performances are riveting.
And Adam will be here. Adam Wingmeyer will
he'll be here.
coming.
Okay. And that's Caroline. When is that going to be?
Friday Spotlight.
No, it isn't. It's the
Did it
Saturday
move?
Spotlight.
Oh, it's the Saturday one. Okay. Friday
Saturday.
is Poetic License. That's Maud
Saturday
Apatow's
Spotlight
film.
over at St. John's is Caroline.
Right.
Okay.
Sorry, I got that.
And opening night is Thursday, Power Ballad.
Yes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
There is a music theme running through the festival.
Yeah.
Well, what is the theme?
Well, the theme is the heartbeat of film,
Right.
And there's a beat and a pulse in all of that. And, we're seeing ourselves as the pulse, in our community, that this festival has a pulse and a beat unto its own. And that, what it's putting out there in the world is the good stuff that's bringing us together. And we just felt that this year, with everything going on, that's who we are this year. We're kind of the heartbeat of it all. And I think a lot of our films have that. They either have a lot of heart, there's a music theme for a lot of them, there's something with a beat and a connection in all of our films.
It's passion. It's the passion of life. It's a passion of stories. It's the passion that translates, that everybody can relate to.
Great.
We have a music film, Everywhere Man, with it's the story of Peter Asher. You know Peter Asher, the great producer who did. Well, he started out with the Beatles, and then when he did James Taylor, Linda Ronstadt, all the greats. I mean,
and Cher and 10,000 Maniacs. He worked with everybody.
And this is his story from the time. And there's footage in that film with James Taylor when he was young and Linda Ronstadt when they were laying there hanging out in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Very cool film.
That's neat.
It's a documentary.
That's a full feature?
That's a documentary feature.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shorts, big. And I know that.
Oh boy.
They are amazing. So
the list is long, so we can't go through all of them.
No, we'll just tell you the themes.
The themes.
So shorts one is evolution.
And that's the beginning of, it's like a lot of beginnings and things that are being created and where they're going, things that are just coming onto the scene and how it's being handled.
Shorts two is connection.
You know what that is?
Which
about the connection of human connection.
Three is transformation.
Right.
And shorts four, that's always kind of like the late night edgier.
And once again, it's very edgy in parts of it. Some of it is quite edgy.
A matter of life and death.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun too. So
kind of
that's
dark
the
comedy.
9 o'clock at night at the Bowen.
And personally, I do. I like the features, and my terminology is off. But I like the long movies. The short,
feature length.
The short ones.
It's its own art
I always
form.
find they really just sort of grab you. I mean, if you've got,
they do.
You might have 3 minutes to watch one.
Yeah.
You might have 10 minutes, and maybe a half hour, and they always just get you thinking. And I've got to think that it's got to be so difficult to make one of those, because to tell a story in 2 hours or an hour and a half is, I don't want to say it's easy, but I mean, it's probably got to be easier than doing it in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, it's a whole different art form to do a really good short. Sometimes it's a proof of concept for a larger idea, but it really needs to be a standalone, its own story.
Most of the time it's standalone. The really good ones are, and it's, you can really tell if somebody knows how to do a short, because there's certain things that have to happen. And if you can get it all in there in 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 5 minutes or 20 minutes at the most,
you got a winner.
You've got a winner. I mean, if you can really get to the point, and if the acting is good and the writing is good, and it's just, it's so great.
And of course, we'll have doc shorts again.
Right. Oh, that's really good this year.
That's a great
The documentary
program.
shorts are wonderful. And that's where Ben Proudfoot's film, the baddest speechwriter in America, is baddest speechwriter
in the world.
In the world, or I can't remember now the whole title. But anyway.
Don't short sell them. It's the world.
Yeah. that's
it's in that program.
He won an award at Sundance for that film. So
wow,
yeah. So
and then of course the student shorts are always on Sunday, and it's always free to the public, thanks to Art in Public Places and the Arts Council,
and the local shorts.
And then
too.
there's Local Focus, which is on Sunday. That'll be in the Bowen Theater. We have several films. We have one that was pitched at the Shorts Challenge that didn't win but got made, so we're showing that. It's called Ahoy. And we have another one. Is it called Katie Swims? Is that the title? I think so. She swam. Remember the girl who swam the Patapsco into the Baltimore Harbor?
Yeah.
It's something for the Bay Bridge.
She swam from Sandy Point.
From the Bay to from Bay to Baltimore. I think
Bay to Baltimore. That's it.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, and so that's in there along with a few other gems.
Yeah, we have Richie's film in there,
and we have Good Home Training, and Honey Bear.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of good things. A couple of others just quickly. We have the movie Pinch, which is a really interesting Indian film.
It starts with that on the butt.
Okay.
And we have and then we have Seized, which is a documentary that just came off Sundance too, which is a great story about a small newspaper in Kansas that gets raided for some things that they did.
Right, I remember the story.
Yeah, so that's another good one.
But what they didn't know is that the 98-year-old mother's home, because she had in-home care, had cameras everywhere.
Yeah, they did. And also we have Mr. Burton, which is the story of Richard Burton, the actor, the great famous English actor. And it's sort of him as a child growing up till he starts to make it in business, and how he gets his name, how everything happens to him, because he was a poor Welsh kid, and it's a really good story. British film. And we're playing it twice.
It's
like you remember Merchant Ivory, like how those films always looked, those period pieces. It's like beautiful like that.
Yeah.
Shot in Wales. And then of course we have some fun films like Deep Faking Sam Altman and Anxiety Club, about comedians that suffer from anxiety. And
they all do.
We have Late Fame. Which is
William
Dafoe and a bunch of young guys who remember him as a poet when in his young years, that he had written books, and he was working at a post office now, and he's a nobody. And these kids who think they're like intellectuals in New York City at a time, they bring him in and they try to reestablish him. It's really good.
And when there's, of course, if you like, remember everybody talks about the film he had about the 3 Zimbabwean sommeliers. They remember that. Well, if you like wine, you might like cheese. So we have the big cheese. And if you want to know what the equivalent to a sommelier is in the cheese world, it's a cheesemonger.
I think I knew that.
Yeah. And then our closing film is Run Amok, which also was just off of Sundance, and it's
appropriate for right now.
Very, very appropriate, and it's really an excellent film. It's a difficult subject, but it's sort of portrayed in a darkly comedic way, and it's a young girl, 15 years old, who 10 years earlier was just only 5 when her mother was in this school as a teacher, and there was a school shooting, and 3 students died and the mother died. But now this girl's a teenager in the same school, and they're about to do a 10-year memorial or memorandum or whatever they're doing. Commemoration, it is what it is. And so she decides, because she's a quirky girl anyway, and she decides she wants to get involved and be involved in how this is portrayed. So it's the battle that she's having with the school system, because she wants to do some very over-the-edge films, and they want her to do,
by the book,
Amazing Grace, what I mean?
Yeah, and everybody's sing and be happy.
Yeah, they want one thing. So it's a compelling film, and we decided to take it.
And don't forget, we have a lot of international and world cinema. So we have like the Swiss selection for Academy Award consideration. We have Late Shift, which is about the nursing crisis.
Yep, excellent.
We have another amazing French film called The Party's Over.
Yeah, The Party's Over.
Which is, you want to describe that one? It's a class.
It's like White Lotus, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about the differentiation in a class of a family that lives in this very great house and the people who work for them. So
and then
it's
we
quite
have
good.
Loving Karma, which is about a bunch of Tibetan monks that take in orphan children, and there's a time arc in it, so you get to see the outcome of them raising these children. It's a beautiful film shot in Tibet. We
have a film called Bookends, which is a story about a gay man who just breaks up, has just had a breakup, and decides to go stay with his grandparents in Florida. And the grandfather is just finding out that he might have Alzheimer's. And so, but the grandmother doesn't want to admit it. So he's now coming in and trying to deal with all of this. At the same time, their doctor is this handsome guy that he's got attracted to. So that's bookends, and that's a lot of fun.
And
too.
then, of course, we have a family film, Cookie Queens.
Oh, it's amazing.
Have you ever been sold Girl Scout cookies?
Always.
Okay.
I hunt them out.
They even have gluten-free ones now, but you have to see this.
This is the most charming documentary I've ever seen. It is so funny. These Girl Scouts, these 4 of them that they tell the story of. It's just, and then it's entrepreneurial too, because it's our family film, because the parents buy all the cookies and they're panic stricken because they get out there and sell, because otherwise we're going to own a gazillion cookies.
One of the future Girl Scouts is going to own the world, because she's like, why are we only making $2 a box?
Right. Yeah, it's really good. So that's our family film.
And we never talked about our
Saturday
special guest for the Jewish experience.
I know. I was just going to bring that up. We have a 60-minute documentary about the great Tova Feldsha, the actress, very famous Jewish actress, Broadway star. She's been in so many things. She's now on Netflix series Nobody Wants This.
She plays the rabbi's mother.
Adam Brady.
Okay, I'm not familiar with.
Well, you'll recognize her. She's been in a lot of things. She plays the rabbi's mother, and she's coming with the documentary about her.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, so she'll be here, and
with bagels, lox, and coffee breakfast.
It's going to be great.
Always.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we left out a lot of things. We left out some foreign films that are really wonderful. We just tell people when it comes out, look at the programming, read about the films, because there's going to be something that you're going to want to see that you can't wait to see because it's part of, your interest, or that you want to move out of your comfort zone and you want to be a little bit pushed.
See, now my recommendation when I do this is I get the booklet.
Yeah, I want to hear how you figure this out, because you're kind of an expert now.
Well, I don't look at the schedule. I look at and I read the descriptions of the movies,
okay.
and I will circle them. And I'll say, okay, this looks cool. This looks cool. And sometimes I'll go back a second time and maybe put an exclamation point. This looks really cool or not. So because I know some will overlap at some point, because you guys haven't figured out how to program to my liking.
Right. Of course not.
But and then what I'll do is I'll go and I'll look at the schedule, the little grid thing. And say, because first of all, I do plan not to work on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday.
That's key. And Friday's loaded this year more than ever.
Yeah,
they're not going to rerun as much, so please take off on Friday.
We're pushing everybody, take off Friday and go to the movies, because that's it.
It's and what I do is I'll sit there and look and say, okay, well, this has an exclamation point, so I'll find it on this grid. And I'll highlight that, and I'll say, okay, well, that one's gone. And then I look and I say, okay, well, this, and then I have to figure how fast I can walk between the venues, and so the whole 9 yards. And like, do we need food?
Right, exactly.
Do I need a beer? What's
And there's food everywhere.
Speaking of which, we're going to have multiple different food trucks. There will be Capriati's sandwiches at Maryland Hall, and for those that have silver or gold passes, they get a little treat on opening night pre-reception.
Will Capriati's be at St. John's as well?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So you don't have to leave to eat. If you do, then patronize one of our restaurant partners downtown.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Which is easy to do. It's very walkable. But if you're in that pinch where you have 35 minutes until the next movie, you don't have to starve.
True.
Okay. Another film that we're getting is a documentary called Last Call in the North. And this is a film about a sleepy little town in Alaska that got shut down from
Is it Skagway?
All the cruise ships that came in there, but during COVID, they couldn't come in. So
tourism.
The whole town just was so affected by it. And it's told from that point of view, and it's just so good and so interesting. And the guy who directed it is coming, and he's going to be talking.
It's a small town reinventing their economic survival plan.
They have to do all kinds of things to survive.
Yeah, I don't know
do.
what the population. You said Skagway.
Skagway.
I think it's Skagway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the population of Skagway is, but it's certainly something that Annapolis could
Well,
be interested in because I mean, you are
exactly.
dependent on tourism.
Well, exactly.
Not only did the cruise ship stop coming, the highway from Canada was blocked off during COVID. So they were so isolated. They had to be super creative and figure out how to help each other and survive.
Neat.
And one more thing, we didn't tell you about Some Function.
Oh my
which
God,
is
how could we forget that?
SUM Function.
This is
and
huge.
This is a big deal because this is a veteran story. Basically, it's a group of veterans that are dealing with PTSD and everything else that goes on with veterans, and they've become part of the wheelchair rugby team.
They've all lost a limb or more.
Yeah. And they're playing now competitive rugby, and it's around in states and going around. And so, I mean, the whole team, I think, is coming
The
here
whole
to see
rugby
the film.
team, I think
in
10
wheelchairs.
of them will be here.
But the cool thing about this film is the director, who's also in the wheelchair, is one of the subjects of the film. And then the other main subjects of the film, it gets into their whole lives, their stories, and
It's powerful.
their relationships with each other. And it's a powerful film.
It's so honest.
Yeah.
And I think they forgot because Noah, the filmmaker, they're so comfortable because he's one of them that it's like hearing these conversations that they're very intimate and very revealing, just really, really honest.
Yeah.
I imagine that makes sense when you have the director and as part of the film,
Yeah.
and as opposed to somebody telling you something to do
Right.
or figuring out or do this. And
Definitely.
It's a whole different process because they're relating to him differently and they're trusting him because he's had the same experience.
yeah.
And then just to top it off at the end, one last thing. We have a late night film called Chili Finger. And the directors are coming in. And
Chili Finger.
Chili Finger. It's called
Okay.
Chili Finger. And
And Lee's over here snorting.
and it's got Sean Astin in it, and it's got Judy Greer, and it has Bryan Cranston, and it has John Goodman. You don't think that's a cast? I mean, that's a cast. So that film starts out in a factory, a bottle factory, where everything's going by fast, and this
Here,
guy's
I
standing
gotta
there.
do the sound effect.
And then all of a sudden, boom, the finger gets cut off, right, in the thing. And then we cut away from that we never go back to that again. And then you're in a home, and the two, it's Sean Astin and Judy Greer, and they're about to go out to dinner. They live a very, working class life, and they're about to go out to dinner to Blake Jr.'s, which is like a Carl Jr.'s.
Right, okay.
And she orders chili, and guess what's in the chili? Or is it? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff there are lots of twisted turns in this
Special
movie.
ingredients.
And it's kind of a thriller too. So
that's funny.
It's really funny and fun. And
Sean Astin's from Baltimore, isn't he?
Yes.
I think so.
I think so.
He's got
Yes.
a brother living up there.
Yeah, I thought so. That's interesting. So after opening night, you do have a party.
Oh, yes. And we're having it in a different
Yeah.
location.
That's what I want to hear. I want to hear about all
big
the parties and
party.
where
And
is the booze.
we're grateful. The Geist Foundation is supporting that party along with opening night is the county and Visit Annapolis and
Right.
Arts Council. And
Well, the party's at the Naval Stadium upstairs, overlooking the glass part.
Up top, up
Yeah,
the,
up at the top.
Ackerson
Yeah,
Tower.
we're taking both sides and the big center in the
two bars, lots of food,
or
dancing.
the road.
Yeah, we'll all be dancing.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah,
And
it's going to be great.
for people that are from out of town, there's a little wow factor because we'll have the stadium lit up. So they'll look
down
out.
onto
Yeah.
the field.
They'll see Go Navy.
How do we get there? I mean, are there shuttles running around, or
There will not be shuttles. If you're a gold, silver pass holder or an individual ticket buyer, there will be a way you'll be sent a virtual parking ticket.
Pass.
Yeah,
Or some-
you have to go enter on gate 5 off
Okay.
of
And
that
then
one
you can just
entrance.
park for free.
And then you
Okay.
drive around to the opposite side.
right to go up
Just
on the
look for
elevator
the
on the tower?
spotlight truck, and that'll show you the side to come in on by the gate. And then,
But there's
and-
lots of parking there, and if
Oh,
we
sure.
have we've selected the parking, so people can just drive over.
Fantastic. Saturday Night Bash still going to be at the Graduate by
Yes,
Hilton?
it is.
But not in the bar.
Yeah.
Apparently they booked a wedding. I'm not sure how they forgot that we were coming.
Crash the wedding. Where's it going to be?
Well, actually, one year we had a wedding crash our party. The whole wedding party came through our party one year. So, no, we're taking over all 3 floors of the Powerhouse for the party.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Cool. Yeah,
That'd
it's going to be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the DJ on one floor and food, and then the food, and people want to sit and eat a little quieter on the second floor, and then third floor, anybody wants to go down and talk.
That's great. Well, It sounds like there's plenty of things to do. I mean, you can, the town A is, for those that are not from here, is so walkable.
Yeah.
The venues are very close to one another.
They are.
You can be from Maryland Hall to St. John's in probably about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're coming from out of town, book your hotel now. Our hotel partners are the Graduate, the Hilton Garden, the Crown Plaza, and the Doubletree. They're all offering special rates.
Okay. Just tell them that you're with the Annapolis Film Festival. And they will do that. And get your passes.
Get your passes.
AnnapolisFilmFestival.com. And I will say that the film festival technically ends on the 29th, but it goes all year round. And you guys do a good job of bringing a film generally once a month to Maryland Hall, to the Bowen Theater down on the lower level. And they're always wonderful.
Great.
Always get you to think and everything else. You can join the Annapolis Film Society. That is a $100 annual membership. And that'll save you, I think, $50 or something like that on passes on this thing too. So
it's
you
$50
can
on a silver and $25 on a blue, and then early access for pass and ticket sales the rest through the whole year.
Yeah. And that's what I will say on the passes. I mean, if you're not sure what movies you want to go to, that's the way to go, because you can go there. If you're running short on time, trying to get between venues, you can hop in there at the very last minute. I'm provided that there's seats available, but if there's something you absolutely need to want to see, you've got the advanced line where you can get in with a pass that you can't with.
It's very easy to jump the line. Like if you think something's going to be a sellout and you won't get in, you can easily get in another line, and you don't have to trade in your ticket, go to the box office. It's much easier.
That's right. That's right. Or you can just go up there and tell the volunteer, "Do you know who I am?" And see how far that gets you.
Yeah. See if you can get a seat for that one.
You don't know who I am. So
you don't know.
AnnapolisFilmFestival.com. Get your tickets, get your passes. Make sure that you put in for off on the 26th through the 29th. Presumably you're not working the 28th and 29th. So
just don't go to work on Friday.
Yeah. Come on.
That's it. Come down with something. Cough.
We want to see you at the movies.
And we will see you at the movies at the end of the month. Man, thank you guys so much.
Thanks, you, John. And thanks to Annual Annapolis for being such a supporter over the years.
We really appreciate it.
This has been a bonus podcast from Annual Annapolis. Please visit us at eyeonannapolis.net. Follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Annual Annapolis. And if you haven't subscribed to the Daily News Brief podcast, go for it. And all of your local news will be delivered to your phone, tablet, or smart device by 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday.